Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk some harness racing. Rene Allard, a trainer at Mohegan Sun and Pocono Downs, also trains at Yonkers and a couple other tracks here in North America. And Rene, welcome into the show, and another good meet for you here in 2016.
Hi, John. Yeah, no, it's been good. I can't complain. Just got to keep it rolling.
Let's talk about being the youngest trainer, 29 years old, to 3,000 wins. There's got to be some good genes in there, and talk about being involved in harness racing for a long time.
Yeah, you know, I started young, and it kind of snowballed from there, and with a lot of horses, obviously, helps me to have more win quickly. But, I mean, I got a great team and great people around me, my owners and employees and assistant trainers, and you know, it's become a pretty big barn, so lot to think about, a lot to deal with, I guess, but I love every bit of it.
We'll talk about being able to handle all the horses and making sure you have everybody in the right spots. You start hearing your name, and you're at this track, you're at that track, so there's a lot of coordination. I guess you got to really be on top of your game.
Yeah, you got to be very organized. You got to have a lot of people around you that cares. You know, you can teach somebody anything, but you can't teach someone to care. So I try to have people around me that cares and love the horses and love the sport as much as I do, and it makes things a little bit easier.
Rene, I think you try to put yourself in a location where you could get to as many tracks as you can, as quickly as you can. Talk about where you're centrally located there.
Yeah, I'm at Mount Hope in Middletown, New York, which is basically in the middle of all the tracks. So I can go Saratoga way, I can go Chester way, you know, I can go Pennsylvania, New York, I can go a little bit everywhere from where I'm at. And if I got to go to Toronto, you know, obviously it's about 6.5 hours. But I'm basically in the middle of all the racetracks, so that's why I decided to be stable here. So that gives me an opportunity with a big barn to race my horses, you know, and I don't have to sit horses in the barn when they should be racing. By being central like that, there's always a place to go and race, you know.
Rene Allard joining us here on the John Mendola Show as we talk harness racing. And how about the fun you're having at Mohegan Sun and Pocono Downs? I'm sure there's a great competition, some great purses, and it's really heating up here in the next week or so. There's going to be some big races there.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. No, you know, you get all the best drivers and trainer racing this weekend. They got all the big races and super stakes. Next Saturday will be all the finals. Tomorrow is the elimination. You know, you got the Ben Franklin, you got Wiggle and Jiggle, Lip, and you got all those great horses. It's going to be pretty exciting. I bet you everybody in the horse business will be watching those races at Pocono on Saturday for the next, you know. It's going to be some great night of racing, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be exciting.
Rene, you have a lot of drivers that you use, but your own brother, I guess, is pretty darn good, Simon Allard. Tell us what you like about him when he's in the sulky.
Well, Simon and me have been teaming up for about as long as I remember, because we used to race ponies before we got into the standardbred. But, I mean, we do a great team, and after the race, we'll communicate, and he'll know. Usually, we don't even need to talk. We think alike, and you know, he's done some great work for me, and he's done some great work for also multiple trainers. So he's currently driving quite a bit in Mohegan Sun, Pocono, and in Chester. That's where he concentrates, and he's been doing well. So we just got to keep the ball rolling.
Rene, it's so competitive in harness racing to stay on top and to fight, because there's a lot of barns doing the same thing. Talk about the different things you try to do to stay ahead of the curve a little bit and making sure you guys are having some of the top horses.
Yeah, no, definitely the horses always definitely helps, you know, because you're only as good as your horse, you're only as good as your help. So, you know, it's about having the right horse also. But I mean, once you get those good horses that can race, it makes your job definitely easier. That's why I'm very fortunate I got a few of them that are really nice in my barn, and makes everybody's job much easier.
I think it's so hard in your business to take time off because there's always something big coming up. Do you ever get away or do something for a week or two? Is that possible in the harness racing business?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a lot of help. that helps you. You know, a lot of great employees and assistant trainer. You know, when I started, it was very hard for me to get away and go somewhere. Now over the years, I've had some great people around me where I can go somewhere for a few days and I can feel like, you know, the work's getting done. And, you know, I got my assistant trainer, Sean Christner, is in charge of the barn. He do a great job. And, you know, obviously, when you have great people, it makes it a little easier. Every August, I go to Canada for the Gold Cup at Saucer. I got friends down there, and it's always a blast. So I go there for a couple of weeks. And in the winter, you know, I try to take a week here and there. But, I mean, even if I'm away, I'm still on the phone, on the internet, you know, entering horses, calling my assistant, make sure everything runs smooth. So you can never disconnect 100%, because as soon as you try to disconnect, you know, it's just with that many horses, there's always something going good, there's always something going bad, because, you know, it's just so a big number. So you're going to have horses who get sick, you have horses get sore, you have horses gets real good, some horses gets real bad. You know, it's not like a car, you know, you're dealing with, it's like people, you know, they have good days, they have bad days. You just got to kind of work with them, and that's kind of the way it goes, you know.
Rene, how about your family? Talk about the support you get, because you got people around you that care about you, that follow you, and you got a pretty big family, I guess, the extended Allard family, to say, hey, they're all rooting for you.
Oh, yeah, that definitely, you know, always have big support. My dad's always been my number one fan of me and Simon, and, you know, when he always my daddy comes and brings me hay all the time from the farm in Quebec. He comes and visits me. You know, my mom, she helps me a lot. She does most of my bookkeeping and stuff, and you know, they're always there for me. So it's definitely great to have the family. And my older brother Frederick also is not in the horse business, but he always there to help out and support. And my sister Melanie, and then obviously me and Simon are in the horses business. But I mean, to have friends and family that around you always makes it better.
And then, of course, I'm sure you have a nice support there in Canada, as you mentioned, in Quebec. Do you have people that kind of follow you along and watch you from up there, and whether it's on the internet or what have you?
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. I got a lot of friends in Quebec, and I mean, the people in Quebec really love harness racing. And like you go to the racetrack now, they got the racers in Tree River. They call it Track 3R. They start back to racing for the last couple of years, and I mean, it's going slowly but surely. It keeps getting a little better. They had a big driving challenge last week. They had all the greatest drivers were there: Team T-Chick, Julie Jameson, John Campbell, Dan Dubé, Yannick James, Sylvain Fillon. They had most of the greatest drivers were there, and you know, there was a lot of people there, and they're definitely great fans of harness racing from Quebec. And it's nice once in a while to go home and get to see them all. And you know, it's nice to know that you got people that are cheering for you and following your career, that's for sure.
Well, Rene Allard continuing to work hard along with his brother Simon and the whole family with the Allard barn at Mohegan Sun, at Pocono, Yonkers, Chester, Saratoga, you name a few. Rene, continued success and keep things going, okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, always great catching up with Rene Allard, harness trainer here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.